Yo, dudes and dudes, this is Ketsu, and this is Can I Beat Rimworld for the first time. Aprimay 8, we sent a caravan to deliver 30 whales in exchange for recon armor. A solid bargain. While they were gone, a drone flew by and shooted all the women. Karloz got inspired to shoot again, but still cannot aim. It's adorable. Some Ambrosia sprouted, and we refunded a prisoner. When the caravan returned, our second best medic came home, meaning Lama could finally replace her missing hand with a shiny new bionic one. Our best surgeon was officially back in business, and we were winning at mood. I bet the skelebuddies felt the positive energy too. Creating armor, replacing lost limbs, and reducing the screaming was still my goal. The lack of crafters was the bottleneck, so I started placing bricks everywhere purely as exercise for the crafters. I even built a second tailoring bench and let everyone make loads like it was a bootleg Etsy. Moments later, Lianu and Zilla announced their new relationship. Soma got so inspired he threw a party immediately. And we replaced the hospital floor with money. Kitsutopia was doing great. Until it wasn't, August 9th, a ship chunk crashed down with its entire fan club. A whole convention of Randy's little helpers. And as if I didn't have enough things occupying my mind, he also drew in an infestation as a 2-for-1. Right into my battery rack, obviously. At this point we were very used to fighting the bugs. One hive popped a battery out of its place, and the bugs managed to eat 2 batteries. But unlike when your pets chew through the live wires, they didn't go to live on a farm. My power collector suffered more than the crew did. The wooden walls couldn't handle the battle, so I stoned them. The battery array was getting a makeover too. Since bugs love it so much they keep trying to book a room. Meanwhile, we tried sniping the sighters, but unlike the other mechs, they didn't sit on their business ends and homed in on us immediately. The second time, they didn't even let us fire, so we shelled them with every mortar round we had. The sighters ate some damage, but we hit the ship chunk exactly once. Fantastic. And since we had exactly one capable crafter, I wasn't waiting for more shells while everyone slowly lost their sanity to the psychic downer. So I sent the crew out in a formation by range. Even Ashtur participated by playing the tank. The first wave of aggressive negotiators didn't even touch us. Then Soma decided he did his part and went on a food pinch. Good timing. I had too many frontliners. Wave 2 fell short too. Then a thunderstorm struck near the geothermal generator. I confidently sent Ashtur to put it out, completely forgetting it was a rainy thunderstorm, and the water droppings already had it covered. While clearing the battlefield, I saw a scyther suddenly adapt to something. No clue what it was adapting for, but it definitely wasn't bullets. This version of ship sewage was worth more trouble than I care to admit. And it's destroyed. Good job today, gang. After the battle, Randy sent our power grid on a timeout. We added more shelves to the armory, for convenience and to use more bricks. The battery rack makeover was finally done. We swapped most of the wooden floors for bricks. Lianu and Zilla got engaged. Then Randy blocked out the sun, just to remind us who actually runs this show. Spoiler, it isn't me. September 2nd, we needed sandstone bricks, but we'd run out of chunks. So I sent a caravan to the tile next door to restock. Except there was none. So we picked the steel furniture and some granite instead. Later, I learned that we still had a whole mountain of sandstone. In my defense, no, I have no defense. I forgot to mention this earlier, but whenever we see a predator on the map, we show them who's at the apex. I hate it when my crew gets hunted. Really disrupts my flow. Further down the future, we lost relations to Abracadabra for no reason. Maybe they're just jealous of our holiday resort. CJ and G-Bro both made Masterwork sleeping bags. I was getting ahead of myself, but I was low-key preparing for the end game. Meanwhile, my mining team ate through the sandstone mountain with gusto. September 8th. Peace. Peace never lasts. Raynor sieged us with 12 raiders. It took us so long to gear up that they actually fired a mortar shell before we were ready. Embarrassing. But they generously let us help 3 of them get Isekai before coming after us. Sin, with his shattered femur, was so slow he never got his armor on. We tried to escort him inside, but he collapsed right in the doorway like a dramatic Victorian lady. Soma sprinted out to rescue him under the cover of his shield belt. The enemies didn't make it far in the gauntlet before switching to reverse. The fire spooked them into running straight into more traps. Sin lost a finger and a concerning amount of blood, but otherwise he survived. He's fine, mostly. The timing was perfect. I was starting to worry we didn't have enough reinforced barrels. No prisoners this time. Saves us the paperwork. Despite being a complete biological train wreck, Sin was just raring to go. Honestly, I admire the tenacity. If I had his attitude, I'd have finished this colony years ago. Remember that time when I said my crew getting hunted annoys me? Yeah. Karloz wrestled the cougar to the ground without taking any damage. To avoid repeating the darker chapters of our medical history, Lama slapped a fresh bionic leg on Sin. September 10th, another solar flare. Thanks, Randy. Love the ambience. And right before the butt goblins raided too, Jeff's kiss. Apparently CJ's sister was part of the party. She gets to bury her sister. Fun times ahead. We used the same tactic as with the mechanoids, and it was working fine, until Lama caught a bullet to the brain and could finally catch a break. It surprised me how fast a person can run with goat juice in their veins. Soma ran back and forth helping take down the jet heads. After that, it was flee time. For them, nobody escaped. We captured a prisoner with a heart condition. The one we actually wanted was emotionally unavailable, getting balls like a smurf here. Animal disease, that's what we needed, thank you. Yeah, I don't care. We got animals. No animals were harmed during this dramatic blight episode, somehow. For all the lives Lama saved, and for all the limbs she replaced over the years, we honored her with a jade sarcophagus, fancy as hell. A psychic suit for the lads blanketed the region. Exactly what we needed in these trying times. Great for ignoring the screaming void inside me. That, and a calm moment at the corpse lake. Everyone attended the ceremony. Even the injured limped their pixelated way over. We only had one exploding animal on the map, and oh, it burned so beautifully. September 15th, Honketon and Sin opened the day with a quick slap fight. Then Zilla and Lianio decided this was finally the moment for their ceremony. I accidentally cancelled it when I tried to snap Zilla out of her hyperfocus. My bad, guys. A few hours later, they tried again. Zilla and Lianio, you need to look after in sickness, death, health, all that jazz. Do you swear? On your buttocks. I will have them on a plate if you break your promise, and I will wear it as a hat. Honestly, be a beautiful service. Zilla got inspired right after and punched out the legendary marine armor, instantly becoming the MVP of the marriage. Meanwhile, our prisoner was busy enjoying a buffet of personal problems. Bloody garbages. Yes, I said garbages instead of junkies. Yes, I'm very proud. We built a dedicated weaponry for convenience, repurposed the failed infirmary into a sell your trash here room, and reinforced the south side some more. We also released a prisoner, but no relations this time. Still working on that puzzle. Speaking of failed connections, after building a comms console, we tried calling out the butt goblins to piss them off. They slammed the phone down before we even got to the greeting. Rude, but fair. Next, we installed an orbital trade beacon, threw silver at it like it was a stripper, and bought the intel for Persona Core. What I didn't foresee was the mission having a time limit. I wanted to grab it on the way to the ship, but nope. Now I'm doing 2 separate trips like it's Kingdom Come delivery service. And right after that revelation, a mad wild boar tried to convert G-Bro into a corpse. Then a mega slot joined the colony, which was awesome. Yo! I got an idea. Mega Chad. There we go. December 9. We spent a few hours sniping the OSHA violations lollygagging around the defoliator ship. But before we could finish the job, 38 custodians arrived to cause problems. The visitors just leaving took a shortcut out of the map. Meanwhile, Lianio got inspired to create something. Given the situation, I assume he was mentally deciding what he planned to do to the enemies. The raiders squeezed through the traps with some sacrifices, and the whole fight turned chaotic. Because my shooting range bottlenecks like a medieval subway gate, my melee squad had trouble, excuse me, pardon me, sorry, coming through their way to the front line. We sniped the runners on their way out, and only 2 escaped. That's a pretty good customer churn rate, honestly. The corpse lake got so full we had to renovate it just to fit everyone. Great problem to have. We were blessed with 3 prisoners. The one we wanted the most, unavailable, of course. The one we were getting, will do. I got sick of not having enough food ever unless I paid attention, so we prepared a new hydroponics room. But the sun lamp itself was enough to drain our power reserves. So the plan was to claim another geothermal vent. The first one already hard carried our grid. Naturally, a solar flare threw its fork into the soup, because Randy saw me planning things and said no. Soon after, prisoner Catherine went berserk. The plan was to wait it out and keep healing the wooden door, but then Agent went ahead and opened the door for her. Agent, are you mental? Wow! No! We've had a great return your prisoner alive ratio lately, so I made everyone hide while I pretended to think. I told the melee gang to drop their weapons and fist Catherine into submission. It worked. After that, Jin's mood hit Bikini Bottom grieving his wife. Plus, a psychic downer drilled into his skull like a dentist with unresolved issues. We gave a psychic shooter a try. Did not visibly improve the situation. Despite all that, he never threw a tantrum. Man's got a darkest dungeon resolve. Respect. Next, we bought a marine helmet from the orbital traders. Anything to slingshot us towards the endgame faster. Then Lyrebird decided it was a great day to stage a prison break. Good. We didn't have enough of those lately, so we tried the same strategy as last time. Drop weapons, apply fists. And it worked again. A pattern is forming. During the scuffle, Karloz slapped Lyrebird's left arm clean off. Unfortunate? Yes. But also, objectively, super cool. Like a handshake gone wrong. But that's Karloz for you. Relations with Legoland tanked again. Releasing Neolada back into the wild earned us absolutely nothing. Except the warm fuzzy feeling inside. We sold Mega Chad because that big tub of love ate all of our raw food. At least I think so. It just can't be my terrible management. Year 5508 kicked off with Catherine continuing her ongoing emotional collapse. Good for her, honestly. Consistency is important. Then, right on schedule. The animals decided to get sick for the first time since last time. Not wanting to miss the Persona Core deadline thanks to my chronic condition. Forgot I had important things to do, itis. I sent a squad of snipers to pick it up, plus Tatsinite, as emotional support muscle, and grab another marine helmet from some passing traders. They reached the mission site the next day, which meant, of course, some Randy bullshit was due, and he crawled out whatever hell he sleeps in, just to wash the colony with a toxic green hue. Up yours too, Randy. On the bright side, it didn't stop Zilla from pushing out another masterwork marine armor. This woman could craft legacies while the sky is dissolving. The poison fog rolled a nat 20 on initiative and hit the crew faster than they could roof themselves in. Thankfully, not long later, Lyrebird joined the crew. Perfect timing. We desperately needed more hands on deck, or at least half a set more, before everyone turned into off-brand super mutants. Before tackling the turrets on site, we popped a Timberwolf behind us before it could become a butt-seeking missile. The only human defender was holding a doomsday launcher, so we carefully guided him around and stored a bullet in him before his finger slipped. Naturally, we tried out the launcher, and honestly, kinda mid. Sniping the remaining turrets after that was just time plus patience equals loot. Team Caravan wrapped up the mission safely, dismantled the solar panels, and grabbed just enough scrap not to walk home like over-encumbered Skyrim NPCs. Home base was still marinating in toxic dust. They could use the help. And sent. Mission complete. Heck yeah. Change of plans. The caravan decided to stop and harvest the wildlife on the way. Meanwhile, Lama returned from her vacation, not as a doctor this time, but as a much-needed crafter. I could finally wipe my tears about how slowly the armor pile was building up. Sort of. She's alive! Welcome back. The home team did their part in acquiring more corpse bits too, turning the resident megaslots into megaslop, because we had no clue how long the fallout would last, but with enough meat, maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't have to eat the long pig paste. If you think lasting for 3 minutes is not a long time, try holding your breath. The hunting on the caravan side wasn't going too hard. The crew was slightly uncomfortable, and that alone was enough to threaten me with tantrums. At least the caravan gathered a decent amount of fleshy parts. Plus, we were hauling the Persona Core adjacent Doomsday Moron as an emergency snack. Think that's stupid? Just wait. Randy eventually threw us a bone so we wouldn't starve, just in case. Then Catherine joined the colony. Talented, hardworking, hard condition. Perfect. Add her to the pile. Anyway, remember those wild times when this episode of Toxic Fallout began? And how I started panic preparing? Yeah, it ended. Randy took that personally and hit us with an infestation, just so we don't get too comfortable. My walls were not built to contain that many spiky anxiety balloons, so I reinforced them, eventually. I'm gonna use the melee guys to break down the rest. Bring him down! Scene bro, what's hitting you? Oh, dead wife, that's why. What else? Rebuffed, you're rebounding! Just like G-Box said. We remodeled the shooting range and the south barricades, so people could actually shoot diagonally now. And the melee squad can charge without getting stuck in NPC pathing purgatory. Thanks to Lama's return, our long-neglected second fabrication bench finally woke up from its coma. Let's go get that hair! Yeah, he was in a hairy situation. Hehe. Comedy gold. CJ got inspired, so I made her craft a royal bed for greedy Catherine during an eclipse, because mood lighting is important. It came out as just a masterwork, but Catherine still loved the bedroom. Greed quenched, for now. Remember when I said something stupid happened? Yeah, the caravan forgot to unload the animal bags, so all the meat rotted inside into a biological crockpot. Starving animals returned as a feature, so to put a band-aid on that, I let them destroy my fields. I'm trying! My hydroponic setup was finally mostly functional, but before we could complete it, we ran out of steel. If you can believe it, Rusty got reincarnated back to the colony. Sorry buddy, nobody escapes this save file. Quest expires. Right, this one. Boom. Don't worry about it. Easy to complete, but every time I leave, something goes wrong, so I'd rather not. August 3rd. The Busto people sent 32 raiders to our doorstep. Perfect timing too, because the animals caught the plague. There's just no worrying about one thing at a time. Just kidding, the animals don't matter. It was actually double the perfect timing for them to send bodies to our gauntlet, because the blender was missing most of its teeth. I was in the middle of trying granite traps, hoping they'd net me prisoners instead of corpses. This one doofus with a pila blocked the rectum so hard, the entire raid was constipated. I had to shuffle my colonists in and out of his range, just to trick the raiders into finally excreting themselves out of the colon I call my front door. But once the cork popped, the poop flowed. My squad fertilized the battlefield with the stains rushing in. Sadly, 2 escaped. Unacceptable, but survivable. We scooped up 5 prisoners out of the mess. 2 emotionally unavailable, 3 waiting for an interview. One of them, a misogynist. I'm sure he will keep things interesting around here. Karloz will slap him into gear. Since the granite traps were too strong at 13 damage, we are switching to sandstone traps. Locking in an impressive 10. Then Randy helped us celebrate the successful battle by shooting our boys. And I shooted myself at the corpse lake. It's my spa day. We only lost one small long-legged weird cow to the plague. Acceptable losses. Then Piano went berserk in prison, and Myro clapped her out of it before I could even enjoy what happened. Yep, everything's running smoothly. From there, our cell room got impressively full. Karloz and Tatsy had a social fight, where Karloz beat Tatsy's finger artistically in the middle of it. Very avant-garde violence. Once the human trafficking paperwork cleared, we finally moved on to logistics. We sent a caravan to the tile next door for a cup of sandstone. Our traps were thirsty for some. The turnover was pretty great. A bot goblin crashed on our yard, but limped off before we could capture it. Then I learned something beautiful, something tragic, something that should have been obvious. Deep drilling causes infestations. Should have seen it coming. When you dig long into the ground digs also into you. The true victims of this happenstance? My furniture and my carpets. My carpets! After that, Lianu and Astur played the prisoners into joining, the same way you'd pretend you're interested in your teacher's life story, so they keep wasting class time. Next, one of our horses got hit by lightning. I bought baby's first minigun. Randy exercised his card complex. Myra introduced herself with insults. Nico demonstrated the approved method of conflict resolution. And we finally finished the sandstone traps. Except for one lone surviving granite trap. I'm watching you. All my brilliant, carefully crafted plans came to a screeching halt because we ran out of gold. So I did what any responsible colony manager would do. I sent a mining squad to go beat the planet for its lunch money. Back home, precipitation teamed up with the electronics. Result? Another fire. Apparently, the room counted as outdoors, despite me very clearly telling the roof to exist. But the roof told me to go screw myself. The plan for the mining team was simple. Give them a cozy, temporary outpost. Only problem? I forgot to bring a builder, so G-Bro joined shortly after. He moon knights as a miner after all. Then the thing that happens literally every time I send out a caravan happened. Problems arrived from multiple angles. Back in trauma. Just to be safe, I recalled the mining squad immediately. Shockingly, they actually made it back before the raid started. I had to leave the animals outside because the diggers insisted on showing them to the enemies. Maybe we need a pet show to call this impulse. The sandstone traps didn't perform any better than the granite ones. But no matter, the science was still fun. The second wave retreated the moment they squeezed past the gauntlet, and the final group saw that and said, "Yup, that's the gamer move," and peaced out too. We picked up 2 new recruits, and 1 extra that we were leaving on somebody's doorstep. Thanks for visiting our resort! And that's it for this time, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care now. Bye bye then. Have a wonderful day.